Who was your favorite monster?
Well, yes, well, my favorite monster, you don't have a favorite monster really, because they're all very scaring, you see. I acted scared for about 3 years, and in the end I was really scared myself, I think. I think it's very important to be scared of the monsters, and I think the only criticism one can level at any Doctor Who, and I'm not thinking of anyone in particular, is that if they're not scared, genuinely scared of the monster or the menace, then you might as well pack out, because you know you take away all the whole sort of point of the story, and you take away from the baddie, and then you know the story's over really. But you've got to be really scared.
And did you?
Boy, was I scared! Didn't like those Cybermen. There was one moment where I think it was in the tomb of the Cybermen, or it might have been. Oh, I can't remember. John, no. Anyway, there was this dormitory. It was a sort of hospital, I think. And unbeknown to the Doctor and his companions, the Cybermen had dissolved all the patients in the beds, and they were all lying in these beds, you see. And at one hideous moment, we were walking down the sort of corridor in between the beds, and suddenly up came the sheet, and this hideous Cyberman was there. And it was the most frightening moment for the kids. I remember them all.
That's pretty scary just listening to it.
It was scary for me, mate. But I like the Yetis. They were very nice and cuddly.
Do you think some of these are too scary for children?
No. I think that what matters is that you shouldn't have familiar objects that turn into monsters. You mustn't have puppets or dolls, or even, I remember rightly, a daffodil, a flower that turned into a creature that, you know, strangled people and so on. I think that's quite wrong. I think that scares kids. I think, you know, they look at their toys sideways, you know, if they've seen one of their, a doll or something come to life and be horrible. I think that's a mistake. But I think, generally speaking, as long as it's fantasy, which it is, and costume, which it is, and make-believe, you know, then it's all right, I think. And as long as the Doctor wins, and they know he's going to win, and he always does, of course, that's all right. I think what's wrong is, for children, is when you've got a modern play in modern dress. And that's when that gets violent. I think that's a pity for kids, because that's real, isn't it? Instead of imaginary. I think the news is ghastly. It's about the most horrific program we have back home, the news.
Here too.
All the kids watch it too.
Now, you also had a reputation for being quite a practical joker on the set.
Well, it used to spill over a bit from the character, yes, at times, yes. Fraser and I got up to quite a few little pranks. Actually, what we did mostly, we played, you know the card game Aggravation, do you?
Mm-hmm.
We played that, Debbie, I, and Fraser.
Well, actually, here it's not a card game. The Aggravation that I'm familiar with is a board game.
This is a card game. We play for sixpence.
Ah, okay.
And we used to get down to playing that at 10:15 every morning, and when we were not on the set, we used to play the whole day long, this game, in order to sort of keep our morale up, you know, because it was a very hard job. We were on every Saturday. Not like this lot now, who do it sort of occasionally, you know. But it was weekly rep. We had 2.5 days to do it, and you were on. We had 4 weeks of the summer in August when we could go on holiday and relax and so on. But it was very hard work. And it's, as a result, it's a bit difficult to remember, apart from the fact it's so long ago, details of the various shows. And in the conventions, half the time, I'm asking the audience, you know, whether they know the answer to things. They seem to know more than I do, because you were like a squirrel on a wheel, and you just got your head down and did it.
Were there times when you just thought, gee, I've had enough with this? And
well, halfway through, we had a problem, because for the first year and a half, we were working all the week. And officially, we're supposed to have our weekends off, Saturday and Sunday. But every other week, and sometimes every week, there was filming, you know, around the countryside, which there was no other time to do. So we found that instead of having a weekend with your family and relaxing and so on, we were working again. And this went on. And after about a year and a half, Fraser, I and Debbie, we got together. We had a little sit-down strike. And we said, thus far, no further. We're not going to do this anymore. We're not going to do the filming at weekends. It's not fair. So there was a great hiatus, you know, the planners all up in arms. But we were very lucky. We had a lovely head of series, yes, it's a series, isn't it, in Sean Sutton. And he was right on our side. And we got together and over a sort of working lunch, we persuaded him, and he agreed to tackle the planners and to have our weekends free. But at the end of each story, of say 4 or 5 weeks, episodes, there would be a week in which we would go away filming with the new director and cast and crew and get that all done before the next story started. But you see, that meant that Doctor Who had to come off for 1 week because we were on directly. We'd done the show, you see, although it wasn't live, it was, you know, telerecorded, and we were straight on. And that, of course, the planners simply, that was terror to them, because they sit up in their little offices with their little flags, you see, the little red and blue flags on their little maps. And they've got patterns there which they like. And if you alter that, they don't like that at all. So it meant altering a flag, but we got them to alter a flag, and we got our week off for our filming. So we were very, very grateful to Sean. And that was fine after that. We could relax at the weekends and see something of the kids, you know, and one's wife.
Now, there's talk of another hiatus. I don't know if it's already been decided.
Another hiatus? What was that?
The break, is it 18 months?
Oh, you mean the recent one?
You're right.
Yeah, well, that's not really a hiatus, I don't think. You see, after all, I think that's just a change of policy. Nathan Turner will tell you more about this than I will. I think the powers that be preferred to half-hour shows to the longer ones. I may be wrong, but I think that was it, and there was a sudden change of policy. But it's nothing new. You see, after we stopped doing them every Saturday of the year, that chap, John Pertwee, that's it, John Pertwee, he appeared on the scene. And of course, once he appeared, they said, well, we can't have him all the time. You know, he's just got to be on 6 months of the year, because that's quite enough of him. So straight away there was a great hiatus there, but nobody minded that. And rather naturally, I think, really, sorry, John, I don't really mean it, you know.
How are actors treated generally in England? I mean, apart from the squabbling that goes on.
What squabbling that goes on? What squabbling?
Well, I mean, you know, over money, as is the case
money.
everywhere.
Squabbling? This is news to me. I don't think actors in England squabble over money. No. How are they treated by the audience, you mean?
Well, no, by their employers.
By their employers? Oh, well, it's all regulated by our union, British Actors' Equity. So you're treated very well. ITV, being commercial, pays better than BBC. But that's a question of, you know, how much the taxpayer is prepared to pay on the license fee for the BBC, really.
A similar problem that public television has here, handled differently.
Yeah. It's amazing to me. I mean, this business of sponsoring, BBC programs are sponsored already by great, huge firms in the States. You know, there's link-ups in the money and in the budget and so on. So it's already happening. So why the fuss? I just don't know. Oh, there we are. I mustn't meddle in politics, as I was told a little time ago.
Given unlimited time, unlimited resources, what would you be doing?
You mean if I was rich, you mean?
Yeah.
If I was rich, well, I'd go on acting, I think, because I love acting. I'd have I wouldn't act quite so much, perhaps. I'd have more time on my hands. I'd have a lovely garden, a little garden I could work in. And a nice house of my choice, you know, it's not too far in the country, but in the country somewhere. Somewhere which is surrounded by wild creatures. I love butterflies and animals and birds, that sort of thing. That's what I would be doing. I don't really want the sort of material things, other than the things which enable you to enjoy the real things of life, like music. So you've got to have radiograms and all that and so on. And the better they are, the better the music is. That and a motor car, which is a magic carpet, takes you to all these lovely places. But apart from that, not really, no. I'm very happy as long as I'm in lovely countryside. And that's about it, really.
Patrick Troughton, it has been a delight chatting with you. Thank you very much.
How nice of you. Thank you very much indeed. Bless you. Bye-bye.